So today I'm going to show you how to get what I consider to be some of the more useful features in IDEs out of Sublime Text 2 with the SublimeREPL plugin. Specifically what I'm talking about is the ability for you to transfer the file or the buffer that you're working on directly into an interpreter to evaluate that code. This is useful for debugging flow situations as well as for cases where you're prototyping and spiking and you need to load your code into an environment and play with it in a REPL. So first of all, note that I've got SublimeREPL installed here, what I've done is I've gone into the key map and set up the F8 key, which is a typical debugging launch key, to kick off the REPL and then load my code into it. So let me show that to you first. Since I'm using Linux here, the examples of course will all be specific to Linux. So in your home directory you should have a directory called config, and in here you'll have a Sublime Text 2 directory. In there you want to go into packages and then default. Now this is the directory that contains the key maps. To find them I recommend issuing a command like this, *key*, and as you can see there are three different key maps here, one for Linux, one for Windows, and one for OS X. Since we're using Linux, we're going to look at the Linux one. That's where I've made the modification that I'm going to show you. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to go ahead and recover this. Looks like I had it open previously, that's okay. So here we are. These key maps are basically large JSON files, and they're an array of objects that have a structure similar to this, a key called keys, and then basically, all of the other values that are here that basically sort of dial in a key map. And this is well documented in the Sublime wiki. So the important thing to note here though is that what we're doing is we're opening the REPL and we're transferring the file that we're currently working on into it. So to see this in action, let me turn on screen keys here, and you can see that when I hit F8, indeed it does open the REPL and load my code and run the ls command that I've specified here. This is great, and this is powerful in that we have a console that we can use to play with our code in. So to that end, we can even change the state of our code, and then I can issue the system call again here, and I get the long form view of it. Great. But what if we want to, as we do when we're developing, change a file and then evaluate it immediately? That too is supported out of the box with SublimeREPL. I'll get a human readable version of this here. Before I do this, I wanted to show you in the SublimeREPL documentation, direct you about halfway down the page here, and you can see that there are built-in hotkeys for sending the current selection, the current file, or the current line to the REPL. In this case, I'll be sending the whole file. So let me show you how that works. Turn on send keys. And what I'm going to do is hit Control comma F, and you can see that indeed it did send the current buffer to the REPL, and I get a human readable form of the ls command now.